So, it's been 3 months and 9 days today, and honestly, today it could have gone either one way or another. I kind of started spiraling a little bit this morning. I went out to actually went to the gym in the morning, and then I went to the supermarket and got a couple of items for the weekend. And then I went to um, get breakfast or brunch. And as I was sitting in the diner, I was looking at my phone, so I wasn't really paying attention. And I was drinking my coffee, and the waitress came over and asked me if I was ready to order. And I already knew what I wanted, so I placed my order. And as she walked away, I looked to the side, and the bar was right next to me. And I saw a couple sitting there, and I watched them for a little bit. And at first, I always thought older couples were so cute, you know. Uh, those were my couple's goals, like they say. Um, and I'm watching them, and I see her doing a cup of coffee, and she's stirring in the creamers and the sugar, and she tastes it with her spoon, and she looked at him and she gave him the cup. And that's when I couldn't contain my tears. My eyes just immediately watered to the brim. uh, I used to always prepare Angel's coffee, and I would taste it just like that, and I would give him the cup. So watching her do that, um, it was a it was a reminder that I will not be that person with Angel. And I started dwindling down the rabbit hole while I was sitting there. And it's so weird. It's when something like that happens, when you get a, I don't know what to call it, a grievance attack. um, it's like immediately you fall right into this hole. It's like, I can't explain it any other way. It feels like a hole, like you're being sucked in, and everything around you turns blank. Everything around you, it's, you can hear everything, but it all fades to the, and so you're sitting there in the midst of this trigger, and you're like separated from everything around you. um as soon as that happened, then I felt myself being sucked into this wormhole of grief, of despair. um I catch myself and I immediately start thinking, um I had that memory with him. I did my part. I prepared his coffee. I gave him the cup that he wanted, the way he liked it, with the exact amount of creamer and sugar that he needed. And not everybody has that. And so instead of thinking of all the many, many coffees I will be drinking by myself and the many, many coffees that I will not be preparing for him, I started thinking about the coffees that I did prepare for him and the way I knew how he liked his coffee and the way I knew everything that I needed to know about us and him, and how grateful I was and I am. And yes, I could have changed things. Yes, I could have done things better or different in our relationship. But I know that God gave me Angel for 22 years. And I'm thankful for those years. Another thing I started thinking about while I was sitting there was last night I went out with a couple of friends. And we were sitting at the restaurant and we were talking. And one of my friends was talking about how she's never been married, how she's never had any children. And she's dated, of course, but she doesn't have anyone. And, you know, it's hard. I can't imagine not having children or not having my husband. I don't even want to imagine it. But I do know that I'm grateful that I got that opportunity to have my children and my husband. And she's never had that. And that brought me to thinking, so many people have never had that. Have never had that relationship or their person or, children or the opportunity to have memories. And so many people have had it, but have had it for such short amount of time. And that's what I thought about while I was sitting there. And that is what helped me not fall into that black hole of despair, if you want to call it anything. And so that was my day today. Another thing, after that I came home and I got ready and I went to church and the service was great. It's Good Friday, and just a reminder of everything Jesus has done for us and all the ways I am undeserving of his forgiveness and his favor and his grace and his love. And that all just gave me such peace and such comfort to know that although I don't deserve it, he still chose me. God still chose me to be who I am. God still chose me to be Angel's wife, to be my children's mother. He chose me to be here at this time talking to you. And I'm grateful for that. And as for today, I posted in social media today a little funny, silly rants. And in one of my last rants, I asked, what are you grateful for? What are you thankful for? It's Good Friday. What's good that you have to thank God for? And so many people posted great comments and gave me motivation and encouraging words towards me, and also expressed their gratitude towards God. And honestly, that's all that I have. That's all that I have. Yes, I have my children, and people constantly tell me, you have your children to look forward to live for. You have, And yes, they are a blessing to me. Um, and I thank God for them, because I don't know where I would be without them. Because of them, I serve the Lord the way I want to, the way I desire to. I wish, and of course, we can always do better. We're humans and we make mistakes. But if it wasn't for them, I probably would have been lost in the world. Definitely. Definitely. And God blessed Angel and I with two amazing boys, and I am grateful for that. But I'm more grateful that God has allowed me to open my eyes and to recognize who He is. Because so many people lack that faith and lack that relationship with God. And it's not about a religion, it's about a relationship. When you're in a relationship with someone, you try to honor them, you try to be loyal and to please the person that you're in a relationship with. And if I did all I could with my husband, how much more will I do for God? And that's one of the things that I'm mostly grateful for. I am grateful for God's goodness. And so today, um, for you that are listening, on a day like today, um, the world celebrates Good Friday. Some people celebrate Easter on Sunday when it's coming up with the bunny rabbit and the chocolate, and other people on Good Friday, they hold it to not eat meat, to eat fish, and others take it to remember the the days that lead up to Jesus' crucifixion, and to remember what occurred before he was crucified, and what he told the disciples, and the every word that he said. Um, but today I tell you, as perhaps you're um, a standing spouse, and your spouse has decided that they want to leave you, or they don't want to be in a relationship with you anymore. Or perhaps your spouse passed away. And for either one of those two, today I tell you to look unto God. Both situations are different. Both situations hurt. Both situations can drive someone to insanity and depression and anger and questioning God and rage. Today I tell you not to look at the bad circumstances that are occurring or may have occurred, but focus your eyes on something different. Focus yourself on something greater than you and your spouse and your circumstances. Focus yourself on our Creator. Focus yourself on God, and on the strength that He has given you and will continue to give you through this trial. And surrender to God. If you haven't given your heart and your life to God, this is it. This is it. This is your opportunity. Tomorrow is not promised. We had no idea my husband was going to die. Christmas Day was not promised for him. But God gave him the opportunity to ask for forgiveness and to be welcomed unto heaven. So today I tell you, don't let this moment pass. Forget about the problems. Forget about your spouse that wants to leave you. Forget about your spouse that has passed away. Forget about finances, your health, your home, your children, whatever it may be that may be going awry, that may be just hitting the fan. and focus on God and what God has for you and God's promises for you and God's forgiveness and His mercy and His favor and His grace over you and your family. Focus on the little that you may have. I know it's sometimes we think we don't have anything, but if you're watching this video and you're listening to these words, then you are blessed with a lot already. You have something, a device to watch this video with. You have ears to hear and eyes to see, and you have breath in your body that'll get you to the next second and the other. And all I say today is for you to surrender to God. Ask God to forgive you. Ask God to cleanse you as white as snow, because tonight is not promised. Not for you, not for me. Tomorrow morning, we don't know if we're going to open our eyes and see the next day. For that reason, you have to get right today. Continue to pray for your spouse. If your spouse is reluctant, believe in God's words and promises for you and your household. Y'all shall serve the Lord. And you stand firm if God has called you to stand. But don't stand firm and dig yourself in a pity party and dig yourself in a hole. What are you doing for you today? What are you doing for what God has called you to do? And who has God called you to be? Are you going to be bitter, or are you going to be better through this? I chose to be better. I could easily fall into the bitter trap. Trust me, I'm human. And sometimes in the back of my mind, it can happen. But I chose to be better and not bitter. Join me. Join me and let's be better together. This is my rant for tonight. Have a wonderful, blessed Good Friday and Easter weekend. I probably will record again on Sunday. Let's see. But don't forget to share this video, like it, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. Until next time.